projects folder is set. We're ready to begin modeling the computer. And the reason that I pick a computer is because when practicing modeling, I like to have something tangibly in front of me, and it's impossible to use Maya without a computer, right? So I feel like there's going to be a computer in front of you, and you can see it, look at it from other angles, and you can start understanding what it is you're modeling. So I'm going to go to Create, Polygon Primitives, Cube. Now, this is going to be, I'm going to use this as the monitor. So I'm going to start by scaling like this and scaling it taller to be roughly the shape of the monitor. Okay, there we go. That looks like a good start. And now I have kind of a border around the screen. So if I select this face right here, I'm going to click on my extrude right here. And now I'm going to select this little yellow square and click and drag. And you can see how it extrudes it in like this. And I only want to bring it in a little bit. Okay, like that, maybe. And now, yeah, that looks good. And now I'm going to click extrude one more time. And I'm going to push this back. There we go. So now I can see that it looks like a nice border around the screen. And now I can go to right click and go to object mode to get out of that editing mode. Okay, great. Hey, that's looking good already. So now I want to create the back of the monitor. So if I come back here, maybe I select this face by right click, go to face, and I select that face. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to extrude, and I'm going to scale in on itself. But this time I'm going to scale way in like this. And on the monitor, it comes out a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of bring, and talking about the back of the monitor, I'm going to pull that out a little bit like that. Okay. And now I'm going to also do this. I'm going to extrude again and pull this out. Okay, excellent. And you can start to see that now I'm kind of getting the back of the monitor. And obviously your monitor might be different, but I feel like I want to encourage you to model it the same way that I'm doing it, just to get practice with these techniques. Okay. Once you're comfortable with that, you can change it to any monitor that you want. But for now, try to do like with how I'm doing. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to extrude out one more time like this. And you can start to see why I did that is because I want this area right here. This is going to be an important area that I want to extrude down from to create the base. But really, it's going to be that's going to be too thick and too wide for me. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go up to my, I want my options for insert edge loop. But remember we created the shelf. So if I double click on this, if I double click on the tool, it'll bring up the options. And now I'm going to say multiple edge loops. And I'm going to say 2. And if I click on this, I can see how it perfectly split 2 edge loops. And those edge loops went all the way around the monitor. And even though they went through the screen here, that's okay. I'm going to leave it like that. In fact, I don't want to delete any extra edges. That'll screw up our shape. So I'm going to leave it like that. And really the importance, what I wanted was this shape right here. And you'll also notice that my arrow looks kind of different now. So to get back to my regular select arrow, I have to go over here and click on this arrow. And now I'm back to my regular select arrow. And I can close the toolbox. Now I want to right click, go to face, and I'm going to select this face right here. And I'm going to hit extrude, and I'm going to bring this straight down. Okay, great. It's looking good. I'm going to bring that straight down like this, right to the grid. And now I want there to be some type of base, okay? That'd be really weird if the monitor was just balancing like that. So I don't have any place to extrude out from. So you probably guessed it. I'm gonna have to put an insert edge loop ring. So if I click on this, I can click like that, and you can see that, well, it split it in thirds. That's because that was our option, our setting. So I'm gonna double click on this and set that back to relative. Now if I click on the edge, now I can determine the thickness of what I want. So maybe I'll go right there. Now I can select these faces here, here, and here. And I could click extrude. And if I bring that out like this, you can see what happens. Oh, okay, great. And I feel like on this, I'm going to have the back of it a little bit narrower, so I can kind of go like that. And on the front, I can make that wider like this. And I could kind of even pull that out further like that. Excellent. Hey, that's looking really starting to look pretty good here. And I'll also notice that it looks like the monitor is very straight up and down here. I want to angle that slightly. So to do that, I'm going to go into my 4 different views. So here is my perspective. And then if I go to this one down here, that's my 4 different views. And I can see that this is the top, this is the front, and this is the side. I'm going to tap the spacebar on the side view. And if I want to angle this screen, I'm going to right click, go to vertex, and I'm going to drag over all of the vertices that make up the screen. And I could rotate this. Now, on second thought, I'm going to grab all of this even back here and rotate the whole thing like that. And I'm just going to kind of bring that down and kind of figure out, you know, the exact angle that I want of the monitor. And even like with that, I mean, that's okay that that's bending. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Okay. I can see that the monitor is starting to make some sense now. I've got this nice base. I've got my screen here. And maybe I want to make a little bit more kind of detail around the base here. So I'm going to select these faces around here. Notice that I do have object X. That's why I have symmetry going on. Okay. And with that row selected like that, I'm going to hit extrude. And I'm going to pull out with this blue arrow like this. And that created kind of this nice row around here. Now, if I select that, if I double click on that edge, it'll select it all the way around. And with that edge selected, I'm going to go like this. Edit Mesh Bevel. And that looks kind of weird until I go to my bevel settings over here. I'm going to click on Offset, middle mouse drag. Well, not offset. Let me see here. Maybe fraction. Yeah, there we go. So fraction, I clicked on the word fraction, and then I'm middle mouse dragging in the viewport and dragging my mouse left and right. And you can see how it beveled that edge. Okay. Or I go to segments and I could middle mouse drag and go to drag to the right. And you can see once again, it added some segments there. So really a cool, you know, kind of a cool trick to make it a little bit more rounded at the top. Okay. And maybe I want the bottom to stay nice and flat as is. So I think I'm going to leave that. And this is looking pretty good. I think in the next lesson, I'm going to continue on adding more stuff to the computer.